next thing I have learned is how important photography is and how important the editing of images is. As you can see on my preliminary task, the photographs are very simple and have not been edited together very well. In this photo there is even the reflection of someone in the window. Whereas looking at my final product, you can see that I've used a single photo on my front cover, as I found that it was more effective than using multiple photographs. There's a black and white filter has been put on, and I've even made her lips redder to match the text. My contents page, on my preliminary task, you can see that there's multiple photos put together in a simple collage. None of these photos have been edited or any filters put on. Whereas on my contents page of my final product, you can see that this photo has got black and white filter on it. This photo has been cropped, and this is a copy of my front cover. On my double page spread, I've shown that I now know how to use the lasso tool to effectively crop around my artist in the image. The angles of a photograph, I've learned, are very important, as this close-up angle will really grab the reader's attention, whereas in my preliminary task there are no close-ups. Throughout the process of making my final product, I have also learnt the importance of fonts, font colours and using font generators. As you can see in my preliminary task, no font generator has been used. It is just a simple Roman text that has been used. There are no special font colours, just black and white. I found that this is very dull, and in all professional magazines there is a bold font, especially for the masthead. As you can see in my final product, I've used a font generator to come up with my masthead and my cover line, as well as on my contents page and my double page spread. I used FontSpace to do this, which is a new website that I've learnt how to use whilst making my product. I have also put my fonts in different colours, as you can see. However, the same colours run throughout the magazine. This is a typical convention of a professional magazine, whereas in my preliminary task, simple fonts and simple colours are used. I found that the positioning of text is very important in a magazine. As you can see on my preliminary task, the text is in the middle of the page, and then here the text even goes over some of the photos. Whereas in my final product, you can see that the text does not cover my main artist's face, and I've shown the use of thirds once again. And on my contents page, the text is very well laid out, with the features down one side and the editor's pick neatly at the bottom. On my double page spread, my text is in thirds once again, and I've even had my artist sitting on a pull quote. This shows that I have learnt how important the position of text can be when trying to attract an audience. I've also found that it is very important to have a clear house style. As you can see with my final product, there is a clear house style through the use of dark colours, black and white filters put over images, light blues and reds. Whereas in my preliminary task, it's just a mismatch of photographs with a red background. Although the red does carry through the front cover and the contents page, this is not a clear house style. Through the use of Photoshop, I have learnt how important attention to detail can be when coming up with a product. As you can see, in my preliminary task, there is not much attention to detail being paid. The reflection of a friend is in this photo. This model has her back to me in this photo. And none of these photos have been cropped at all. Whereas in my final product, attention to detail has been paid, especially in my double page spread. I learnt on Photoshop how to use the lasso tool to go around my artists. To do this, I had to pay a lot of attention to detail, zooming in on certain areas of the photograph to make sure I was cropping accurately. Finally, I have learnt how important model choices can be. My preliminary task, my models are not in any particular clothing to attract a certain audience, and a lot of my models are the same. Whereas in my final product, my model represents my target social group and my target social audience. She is young, she has natural makeup and natural hair, and her costume choices fit the genre. Also on my contents page, I have used male models in order to attract the male audience, and a female model to attract a female audience. I've learnt that model choices are very important when attracting a target audience. This is what I feel I have learnt throughout the progression of my product from the preliminary task to the final product.